Hey there, this is David Bowles coming to you from Barnes & Noble. See, this is one of the advantages of having studied ELA and being a professor who prepares future educators in the field of English, that it's Monday and I'm not in some office. I am just wandering around, looking at books, writing and thinking about stuff. It's one of the really, really cool things about this profession. So what is ELA? Obviously English Language Arts, but more specifically, it is the study of English with the goal of passing that knowledge on to other people and getting them as excited about the field of English, about reading and writing and so forth, as you are. It's a really kind of a fabulous thing. I was a teacher for 14 years, and then I went on to be a school administrator for another 9. And the lives that I was able to touch, all the children that I was able to influence, all the people that I was able to get excited about literature and writing and conversations about ideas, really, really made it worthwhile. So much really cool stuff. Obviously, if you are a student of ELA and you go on to do these sorts of things, there are kind of like subcategories, subdivisions of the field, if you will. I know a lot of people that go into teaching reading. They become reading specialists eventually after having spent a lot of time in the classroom. There are also people who focus on writing, and who, prepare people to be writers, either creative writers or to write things a little more technically and more professionally. So just depending on what you're interested in, you've got a couple of choices. Now, I've kind of touched on the fact that ELA is cool because, as you can see, here I am in the manga section of Barnes & Noble's, listening to really cool music and just having a good time. But ELA is also cool because taking our field apart, really, really understanding literature and how people process it, how they get excited about things and analyze and evaluate, and then how they can write about them in these really coherent, cogent ways. To me, that's really, really awesome, to be able to have conversations about that and introduce more people to doing it. It's really cool and very rewarding, I would say. You get young people, especially, excited about things and set them on a path that kind of parallels your own trajectory. And there's nothing quite like it, and I've been in education for more than a quarter century, so I get approached all the time by people who used to be my students, and just the thanks that I get from them, or the Facebook messages I get, or the emails, and little notes of appreciation. All that is really, really awesome. No, I'm fine. That's one thing. So the other thing is, what you should expect from this kind of a career. You should expect, work, but you should also expect a lot of freedom to explore ideas, flexibility to do things creatively that you might want to do in addition to the professional thing that you get into. But you should definitely expect needing to know about all aspects of English language arts. And so it's kind of complicated, but it's very rewarding in that you feel like you can kind of hold your own no matter what the conversation's about. Now, you don't have to become just a teacher if you study ELA. There are other things that you can go into as well. You can study, for example. You can move on, rather, to do things like becoming an administrator, like I was. I headed up the English Language Arts program at Donna ISD. I was in charge of ESL and bilingual education. I was in charge of libraries, which brings me to the fact that you can become a librarian as well, touch people that way as well, and influence their literacy. You can become a writer eventually, either a professional writer of things that pertain in a scholarly way to ELA, or as a writer of books that can be used in these classrooms, books for young people. That's something that I've done a lot of. Just published my 14th book, so it's definitely something that this career has helped me to do. You become a university professor. You can find yourself in journalism. You can take an ELA career and do all kinds of things. If you're bilingual, it'll help you to to get jobs in translation. You can work in communications offices, just a ton of things that you could do. So you really ought to consider it. It's a very versatile career that I don't regret for one moment having gone into. It has served me really well, and I've been able to be involved in a lot of really, really neat projects, and I continue to be. So keep it in mind, think about it. Hopefully we'll see you in the English education track. I'm going to get out of here before the Barnes & Noble people get upset with me. Bye.